Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Winning Mondays. We have another Monday, another day to win, guys. Okay, so yeah, with this Winning Mondays with KW Malaysia. My name is Mariah. I'm the regional training coordinator here. Just happy to welcome you all to our show. Yeah, we have a great topic this week. I was just thinking, for those who didn't hear last week's video, you should probably go and take a look. It was cannot undercut, become a co-agency pro. Important stuff. I know last week everyone was talking about it the whole week. Everyone saying, hey, have you watched the show? Have you watched the show? We really went into detail on that, on how to make sure you don't get undercut and all the things that I think a lot of agents don't know about. So if you've not seen that, definitely please go back and watch. So today's session is going to be looking at the property market report, right, that came out recently on the first half of 2023. Yeah, I was thinking, what's the purpose of today's show up? It's to make all of you smarter. We want you guys to be smart agents out there. Yeah, this week on Ignite, this past week in our Ignite classes, where we train all the agents, to be the best agents, we had a session called Connect with Your Market, and we talked about how to be the agent of choice in your area, right? How to be an expert on your area, an expert on the market, so that when you talk to potential buyers and also those, potential sellers, you want to get the listing from them. You want to sound like you know what you're talking about. I mean, you want to actually know what you're talking about, but it's also important that you have the language, the words, and all that, and the knowledge to present to them. So today's session is great. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. You're going to be smarter by the end of today. Guaranteed you'll be smarter, okay? Or I will give you a refund, okay? I promise I'll give you a refund if you're not smarter at the end of today. Okay, so as we get into our topic today, I have a short poll for you. Yeah, all right. Oh, by the way, it seems like I think apparently we're having a problem with our Facebook this morning. A big apologies to those who are on Facebook who cannot hear me. But so if we need to just bring everyone into the Zoom chat. So if you know anyone that's trying to get in on Facebook, maybe you can just forward them the link for this, and we can invite them to join us over here. That would be great if we could do that. Okay, so before I go any further, I want to share the poll for today, and we have a little question for you guys so that you can open this topic. Okay, first question, or there's only one question. Do you think the property market is doing better or worse this year in 2023, like compared to last year? So your choices are better, worse, or unchanged. Yeah, do you think the property market is doing better or worse this year? Let's get all your answers in here. We can see what is the popular opinion out there. So we're going to look at this before we look at the data. So this is like all your best guess, unless maybe some of you already went and read the report. Oh, I wonder who has read the report. It's very long. It's a very long report, I'm going to be honest. But yeah, I'm very curious to see who thinks it's better, who thinks it's worse. Yeah. Good job, guys. You're doing well. We have so much participation. I'm so happy. You guys are making me so happy. You're answering my poll. I love it. Okay, let's give it another like 5 or 10 seconds. Yeah, guys, we're almost at October. It's October next week. It's so soon. Time is flying. So we only have 3 more months until the end of the year. Okay, just telling you this to get you scared in case you weren't already scared. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, all right, let's look at the results. I'm very curious if you all guess the results. Hey, not bad. More than half of you think it's better. That's pretty impressive. So you guys are feeling quite positive. 30% say unchanged, and 14% say worse. So worse, the economy, the market is worse than before. Interesting. Okay, with that, I'm not going to make comments on this. I'm going to ask our guest to make some comment on this. We're going to close this first. I want to invite, we have Miss Cheng and we have Mr. Lee Wing Fong. Come on board. You're the next guest on Winning Mondays. Let's go. Okay, hello. Good morning. I'm Cheng. Good morning, Wing.
Good morning. Morning.
Great. Okay. Before you even, yeah, I know I want to, I guess I should let you introduce yourself first lah. Okay. How about Wing, do you want to introduce yourself first? Tell us who you are and what's your background in real estate.
Right. Hi, good morning. My name is Wing. I run the ACE platform together with Vivian. Currently in associate director in a flagship market center.
Nice. How long have you been doing real estate?
13 years in Reapfield.
Okay, cool. Good job. Okay. I know, Cheng, I asked you to introduce yourself so many times, right? You were just on last week, but just a short intro. You can give.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me back again. That's what I was thinking. Will the the viewers of Winning Monday feel that I'm coming up too often?
I know, like no lah, they love you. You're very popular.
I have still got some important information and.
Yep. Oh shoot, I think you're hanging up. Your thing is frozen. But yes, I think we all want Cheng to be here, right? We want her to be here. We know she has a lot of knowledge and understanding about the market. Hopefully her screen will return to us shortly. Cheng, are you there? What happened? Oh, are you back?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. I don't know, your thing is frozen, but
okay. Can yours? Okay, wait. Maybe can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, so sorry. So I don't know where I lost you guys. So I say I'm really happy to be back on the Winning Monday, and I'm so happy that I'm sharing the same platform with Wing, because Wing is someone that I really look up to, and especially because of his analytical mind. Yeah, so that's what really that's one of our assets as far as analyzing situations, data, and all that requires some amount of thought and thought process. And I think Wing brings that very much to Market Center. That's why I always enjoy his talk sessions. Even the most recent one being on the on Project Open Day. Yeah, on
yes.
how to actually really get into the project marketing space. So okay, so a short background about me. I started real estate in 1999. I've been practicing all the way until year 2023 and still going. Many years already. I hope it's not 1 year experience 20 times over. But every year I gain a little bit of knowledge in the business, real estate. I never left in the active space. So I hope that today I'll be able to share some valuable insights for everyone today, so that you all have a little bit of extra information that you could use to convince that buyer, to just make that decision, or convince the seller to just accept your offer. We hope that little data can spur you in that direction. I think that's our hope.
Awesome. Sounds very good. So I have to ask you guys, how's the market? What's your is it up or down or what?
Wing first.
Generally, if you look at the data, the market, I would say there's nothing not good, right? It's almost flat, right? That is what the data is looking at.
Oh, it sounds so sad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's actually not bad. Right? Yeah.
Okay. Were you surprised by the answers on the poll just now? Some people said it's 54% said it's better than last year. Was it surprising to you, or?
It's not surprising to me, because at the end of the day, if you look at it, right, all this data, like whatever Cheng and myself, whatever we're going to say later, all these are external factors. But external factors do not really impact your real estate business, because the how well your real estate business at the end of the day is still falls back to how you develop yourself internally to capture the market.
Right.
Yeah.
So
so
you could be having right. You could be doing great even if overall it's not very cool.
Right.
But what is interesting is that I believe that from the findings, right, I saw 54% said it was better and 31% say it was unchanged. So if you combine it, there's actually 85% of people that think the market is fair or better. So I think that by saying that, I think by far, maybe Reapfield agents are more on the positive side compared to the majority of the other agents that, I normally come in contact with. Whenever I ask them, so how's the market, better or worse? How is it compared last year? Wow, I think this year more challenging. I was like, why are you talking like that? It's like, and then here we have our results, 54 plus 31, 85.
Hey, let's go. KW agents are doing well.
Yeah,
Because
generally.
KW agent is not here to survive, but is here to thrive. So
Wow.
which is why everybody is better than the average, right? That should be the way.
Yeah, we have the best tech, the best training, best systems and models. Let's go. Okay, so with that, I know, Cheng, I'm so thankful that you went through the whole long report and you prepared some slides, you prepared some summary of all the findings. Would you be willing to just share with us, what findings and the trends that you have seen, and for this market report? That'll be great. Then we can discuss.
So what I'll do is I will cover a couple of slides, and then we can take a pause, and then we can talk a little bit about those slides, what the numbers mean and things like that. Then after that, maybe we can go again with the next few slides, and then we pause now. So I think that way, then everybody can be on board on the slides. But as the slides are going, before I pause, if you have any questions, you feel like you want to clarify, they just type away in the chat box. And then once we pause, then we can look at it. Yeah. Or if you guys have any comments or questions along the way, then just feel free to pause at that point. So then, because I will do like maybe 3-4 slides and then I'll pause. Okay, so very quickly, so let me just quickly show the screen. Okay, you all can see, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We're talking about the first half of 2023. First half of 2023. I'm not lagging, am I? I think today my is bad,
little bit, but okay.
Okay, all right. I think no matter how we want to run away from data, I think one of the most important information that all of us need to be aware is the changes in the OPR over time. The reason being because OPR directly affects purchase decision in a way, because it is a direct impact on the loan repayment amounts. And and therefore this becomes an important chart for us to track. But what I wanted to just say is that it is not, I don't think there's major change until we feel that, wow, it's so terrible, it's so good, or what. It's not really. If you look at the trend over time, right, from 2004 right up to 2023, which is about we're talking about almost 20 years, right? So the rate is just around about there. Only in the year 2020, there was a huge adjustment downwards because of the COVID-19 to reduce the impact of loan repayments by the borrowers and things like that. So there was an adjustment. But in 2022, it basically went back to the pre-COVID era already. And you all need to be very careful. I mean, note this very clearly, that in 2022, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 adjustments, 4 adjustments. But yet, the property market performance for year 2022 was at its peak. So some people say, oh, interest rate going up, business tak boleh already, real estate market, tak boleh, cannot already. It'll be too challenging for the market. But let me just remind you all that there were 4 adjustments in the year 2022, but that did not affect the buying sentiments and the confidence that have returned into the property market. Okay, so anyway, we'll talk more about that later. So then the next slide I wanted to share is, I thought this was really interesting because a lot of us, sometimes we get very disheartened, how come my buyer submit loan application, then loan rejected. Ayo, then you feel so upset and things like that. But I think sometimes data helps to calm us down. Okay, so if you look at the data, right, comparing first half of 2014 all the way to 2023, that's a good 10 years, right? The approval application, of course, in the good days, is practically like everybody that you meet, the loan can pass, almost, yeah? But actually it was 50%. So that means out of every 2 person, out of every 2 buyers that you meet, 1 of them, maybe the loan cannot pass, yeah? But then that trend dropped dramatically in 2016 because of all the tightening, no more DIBS no more this and that. So therefore, and then the DSR calculation also revised. So therefore, it dropped from 50 to 39 in that year or that few years. And it took a little bit of time before that, recovered. In fact, only recovered this year. But generally speaking, right, the loan were a bit more challenging. That's why out of every three, that's why sometimes one property, one unit, you can sell 3 times because the first two case got rejected. So that was in the year 2016. I don't know if you experienced that, but we did. I experienced this as well. The same unit can sell 3 times because of loan rejection percentage. But that has improved. And of course, 2020 has dipped it back down again, worse than ever, mainly because the banks tightened. They didn't want to lend to certain sectors. They were very tight on some of the borrowers' criteria and all that. But all that has changed and we are back to 42.3%. So having said that, it's okay that if your experience, like you found 2 buyers, right? And one of them, the loan is rejected. Actually, that's the average, the market. So you don't have to be so disheartened, sometimes we think that, why every deal, the loan will pass. No, because out of so many loan applications, the loan approval rate is the average. So if you have 5 buyers and 3 or 4 out of the 5 buyers actually qualified the loan, you're better than the national average. Okay, that's just for info. We can talk about that later. And then we also talk a little bit about the non-residential, which is the commercial and industrial sector. That are very interesting. That has also improved a lot. Even, in fact, it's better loan approval ratio than residential. And I'm guessing it's because business people, they calculate their ability more. That means before they want to take and borrow or what, they would have gone through their financials in more detail. Hence, their ratio is improved. But of course, they also try to get more loans. So most of the time, I believe this effect could be the margin of financing more than the numbers of approval. Yeah, we can talk about that later also. Okay, and then very quickly, so the overall for the volume of transaction from 2019 to 2023, you can see so 160,000 for the first half, then dropped because of COVID, improved in 2021, further improved in first half of 2022, which I felt 2022 was a lot of pent up because of the last 2 years, right? So that's why everyone went on a buying spree or something. And then, but this year, it kind of adjusted a little bit. That's why earlier Wing was saying it's flattish, which I agree, it's flattish. 4,000 units difference between the two half years, comparing half year to half year, because sometimes it's not right to compare July to December with January to June, because the dynamics, the holidays, the buying behavior changes with months. So we compare apple to apple, first half of every year we compare. So, but what I wanted to show was the value only dipped, was a small adjustment upwards actually, a little bit. So that means, although the number of transaction over on this page, right, 188, 184, but here is 84, 85, which means to say less transaction, but higher value. So that also is an indication of possible price adjustment upwards. So don't be surprised if your owners are saying that, I want to revise my price. I want to sell higher. And things like that. So I think this one clearly shows something like that's happening already. 4,000 unit less, but 1.1% more. Okay, so maybe I should take a pause here, I think, or should I go to the next one? The next one, maybe I'll go to the next one. There we pause. Okay, so this is the overall property transaction since year 2009 until today, 2023, but first half only I put here. So if you look at the trend, right, over time, you see the value in billions. So from 2009, it was 81 billion. Then of course, we went all the way to the peak, 2014. I love the year 2014, 2013, man. I don't know. It's as if everyone you meet can just buy. And every launch, the buyers are queuing and your office is full, sales gallery is crazy. It's like you don't need any skill. As long as you stand there, you can close the deal. But gone are the days. So let's not go back and revisit that. Gone are the days. And then after that, of course, GST came in 2015. And then there were a lot of uncertainties here and there. So the property market was a bit flattish. And then, of course, take a major dip in 2020. Not surprising at all. But what is interesting to note is that in a short span of 1-2 years, you look at that. If you look at this, 141.1 billion transactions 2019, we dipped to 114. We didn't take very long before we bounced back to 144. Better already, see?
Mm.
Some of us are still caught, in the doldrums of, wow, we are suffering the aftermath of the COVID and all that. The market has moved on lah. Whether we have moved on or not is another question. But the market has definitely moved on. And then move on with a vengeance, because in 2022, it was the highest in the history of Malaysia. I almost say highest in the history of MIEA. Highest in the history of Malaysia, sorry. Highest in the history of Malaysia in the value of transactions ever. And just 2 years before that, we were like possibly one of the worst times, in the past 10 years. Okay, so I just put a little note here on the first half of 2023. We had 184,000 units transacted and 85 million. So if you take this, right, if you take it and you times 2, right, if let's say the end of the year would be the same, then you would feel that the figure would be less than the heights of 2022. But yet that's yet to be seen. Okay, so I'll pause here. Then Wing will probably want to go back a couple of slides or whatever to add his comment. So should I stop share, or Wing, you want the slides still there?
No, I'm okay. Actually, I got nothing much to add, right? So of course, Cheng mentioned, we are almost at our peak, right? So I just want to say is that even at our lowest, if you can see, there are 2020, there's still 295,000 transaction value at almost 120 billion. Right. You remember, I used to share previously, real estate is recession proof because even the worst of years, there is still transaction. Right. So nothing to worry about.
So maybe I want to ask Wing about this ones, the loan approval.
The loan approval, to me, I look at it very positively because at the end of the day, real estate industry, we still need the support of the banks. Right. Financial support is very important. So if you can see, loan approval is at 94 billion, which is good, which is the highest in the last 10 years, which means that the banks are supporting the industry. It's just that, right, the banks, of course, they have got their preferred client, right? This one also, everybody also has their preferred client. So to me, it's very normal.
But we have improved so much. If you look at 2020, it was only 32 million, 32 billion loans, right? But you see that has, wow, if you really look at it, it's almost like 3 kali ganda, right? It's like 3 times the amount. Sometimes you look at a percentage, it shows you one thing, but when you look at the absolute figure, like the absolute selling price, it's actually a huge improvement over the years. Even if you look at it, even in the heights of 2014, even the heights of 2014, where we thought that the market was the best, right? It was 57 billion, right? But here you look, in the same first half of the year is 93 billion. So now the question we have to ask ourselves is, how much of this loan approval was your customer?
That's a good question.
Are you 0.1%? I mean, I don't know. Are we even part of the statistic? Of course we are, because all of us have deals that have transacted, right? So how much of this was you?
So the myth of, the banks tightening up is not true. The data shows that it's otherwise.
Yeah, and not only that, the amount of people wanting to buy property, look at it. Look at that. That means, this 222 versus this 93, right? That means the balance of them, the another 100 over 110 or whatever, that means their loan didn't pass. It could be that they need to fix up some of their issues and all that, but they're still in the buying market. If not, they won't even surface in this figure over here. I think that is a very important information all of agents need to know, that there's a lot of buyers out there.
Right.
Yeah. Very encouraging.
Another 110 missing. 110 billion, right? I keep getting this
billion
worth of properties that people wanted to buy but did not achieve it yet. Yeah. Okay. Did we have any questions that anyone raised, Mariah?
Nothing in the chat yet. So yeah, anyone who has questions, please write in the chat whatever questions you have. We'd love to hear from you.
Stunned by the figures.
I wanted to ask you though, based on I don't know if it's too early to ask this question, but you mentioned about how like things have already bounced back from COVID, but you asked, have you bounced back, right? Has everybody bounced back, or are some of us stuck? Do you think that we are really like is the COVID pandemic still affecting the Malaysian property market, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think if you look at I don't know, maybe Wing, you can share first.
If you ask me, to me, COVID is already a history, right? Don't let COVID, continuously to become a reason for you not achieving your goal. Really, to me, COVID is a history already.
Right. I mean, it does seem like the numbers you showed just now seem to show that like everything's bounced back and even better, like things are really improved a lot. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So I think that we, as much as we shouldn't get hung up about our past success, neither should we get hung up over our past failures or setbacks. So I think the important thing is that the market has moved. Yeah. Everyone has recovered. We have all moved on from that episode. Yeah. And I think how far you can go, this is actually no one could have imagined this, that 2022 would be the best years of our life. No one has anticipated this.
So good.
Quickly,
I love it.
So-called this massive episode, twice actually, because at 2021 also we had MCOs again, right? Yeah, so these 2 years.
Yeah, it's very encouraging. Can move forward.
So okay, then do you want to move on the slides?
Yeah, I think so. There's one question, but I don't know if it can answer already. It says, based on the data that you've shared, are we in a buyer or seller's market? I'm not sure. It's maybe we need the further data to figure that out.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah, maybe in the next round. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next section.
Next slide. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so sometimes it's also good when we want to analyze and be realistic about our expectations about our performance, right? It's also to tag to the monthly performance of the overall market. So this chart here actually shows what happens every month. That means from July 2022 up to June 2023, what is actually happening. That means, is your sales also following the trend of the thing? That means, or sometime in January, it's a bit of a slow month because of and things like that. And then April is a slow month because what happened in April? Was it the elections? I don't know. Something was coming up. That there is always some activity or some incidences that happen that will move the trend of buying decisions through the months. So there are a little bit, I wouldn't say that, a huge amount that, every month, certain months you better go on holiday. No. A lot of people always tell me, December month, no sale happen one. Well, I might want to revisit that thought, that perhaps you might want to reconsider whether Christmas month is a non-happening month. I don't think the data actually shows that. Yeah. So anyway, it's good that we sometimes look at this sort of figures to also jolt us back into reality, that don't work based on months of the year, or don't give yourself excuses to say that, because it's a festive month, so therefore I step down my activities, and therefore, because nobody will buy anyway. I just want to share that not really. I don't think that thinking is very accurate. Yeah, so I don't know whether Wing has anything he wants to add to this.
No, I got nothing to add.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, to me, I mean, it's of course there's a cycle to it, but to me, what is more important is every individual GPS, right? So to me, the bottom line is there are transactions for you to move towards that goal, right? So once you achieve it, then you can slow down or whatsoever, but yeah, so to me, it still boils down to individual target goal.
Yeah. Okay. So just to give a snapshot about what happened to the residential market in the first half of 2023, there were 114,000 transactions. So did you do 0.01% of it or 1% of it? That would determine, if you did 1% of it, then it's 114 units, right? So it depends how much of the transactions you did. All have been recorded by JPPH. So the data are accurate. Okay, then of the 114,000 transactions, or 115,000, it was a total value of 45 billion. Yeah. And out of that residential transaction, 114,000, right? Actually, it accounted to 79.4. That means about 80% is in the secondary market, and 20% is in the primary market. That's interesting, yeah, because it shows that the secondary market moved a lot in the year, in the first half of 2023. 80%, of this. That means 91,000 transactions. Sale only, not rental, sale only. And primary market, say what you like, 23,000 is a lot of units. I don't know how, this of course constitutes of the entire Malaysia market, but I would say easily 40% of it would have been in Klang Valley. So if 40%, there'll be 10,000 units. So out of those 10, 12,000 units, how many did the project team sell? That's also another question to reflect upon. So, but it's 80-20 in a way for residential. Okay, so let's look at residential transaction volume and value. Okay, so if you compare first half, right, marginal, there 116, 114 is a difference of 2,000 units in 6 months. I think it's marginal. And the value 45 versus 44 also marginal. Actually, I would say this is flattish. Doesn't show any major adjustment or glitches or anything like that. I don't foresee, I don't see that. And in terms of new launches, right, there were 16,545 units launched in the first half of 2023. But note, that was 50% less than last year. That means last year unit launch was 32,000 units in the first half of 2022. Because of all the pent-up, developers holding back and all that, they cannot hold back anymore. So last year we saw a massive amount of launches, but this year there was been some adjustment. And also in terms of the first half of units that were launched, compared to second half of 2022 is down by 20% only. So that means it shows that the first half of 2022 were a lot more launches compared to the second half of 2022. So 2023 is just on the downward trend, 20% less. But the interesting part is sales performance. So out of the so-called 16,544 units that were launched, right, the sales performance actually recorded higher compared to 2022. That means we have, that means on the average, right, that's why I always say, this 32.2 is not a magic figure or what, it's about there one. Every project that put out into the market to sell, any new project, the first 30% will sell like nobody's business. No need to worry. Developers, nobody worries. The first 30% will just sell. That is also stated here. It's only the balance 70% that becomes a little bit more challenging depending on the product, the price, and the location. But it's interesting. A lot of units are still being launched and the sales record is not bad. So out of these new launches, right, this figure also surprised me. Terrace houses actually dominated, Do you know that out of the 16,000 units, 50% of them were terrace house, So how come the listing that I see on in Reapfield's KW Central projects, majority of the projects are high-rise? Because it actually showed that terrace houses were dominated. 50%, which means a total of 4,000 plus, about 8,000 units. That's interesting. Yeah. And that was followed by the second largest segment was condo and apartment, 5,000 over units, 31% sales performance. 31% of the overall units, and the sales performance is at 27%. So if you look at sales performance of terrace houses, of course, almost 50%, right? But condo is about 27.8%. Okay, maybe I pause for a little while. Maybe some people have some questions they may want to ask. Right. The data, so sometimes the data can mean many things, but maybe that's more relevant to the agents.
Yeah, Wing, what are your thoughts on these data that was just shown, the past couple slides?
My take is still the same. To me, there is nothing not good, right? So it's flat, but to me it is holding very well. Because if you look at it, 2022, like what Cheng said, it could be panned out from the previous 2 years. But what is positive is 2023 we are able to sustain that level, right? So to me, it's positive. Right? It's not the best of years, but to me, it's good.
How about this piece about the terrace house versus the high rise? What are your thoughts about that?
My take is this, because this is this data, you look at it I mean, you look at Malaysia as a whole, right? So I think other states besides, Selangor, KL, Johor, and Penang, other states are dominated by terrace houses. So to me, that is the reason why the data is showing terrace houses.
So it's
but in-
overall, but maybe not
yeah.
every
Yeah, not
area
all
is the same.
Yeah, so Klang Valley is still dominated by high rise.
Okay.
But having said that, I run some advertisement. We still have landed projects, right? So those interested, right, can get to us.
Yeah. Yes, ACE, I think, still sells landed projects, right?
Yeah.
At very
Right,
good
right.
prices, in Klang Valley. Okay, good. Yeah. So your sales performance definitely more than this, lah, because terrace houses, this is the average, So better, I think whoever want to get it on board terrace houses segment of the market, right? I think better quickly contact, Wing, because they don't stay unsold for too long, lah, versus this category, lah. So if you want to delay a little bit, you can delay coming into any condo project. But if any terrace projects becomes available for sale, right, within the company, straight away jump on it. Because why? Very fast, gone.
I get it.
Another data, I think it's I would like to add here for the residential market is if you look at it, right, in terms of residential units in the whole of Malaysia, there's actually 6.1 million units, all right, 6.1 million units. And if you look at the transaction, it's about 115,000 for 6 months. Let's say I multiply by 2, it's about 228,000. So if you look at residential units, right, that the number of units transacted every year is about 3.7, right? It's about 3 to 4 units every year, right? So, and everybody is looking at 1 transaction a month, 12 a year, all right? So which means that if you just hold exclusively to 400 owners, right, you will be able to achieve your target. So which means that you just hold tightly 400 owners, you serve the best of your capability, service these 400 owners, they stick to you, it's good enough for your business, right? I mean, based on the data.
Very interesting. I don't think they got it. Maybe you should write it down somewhere. You should have a whiteboard, and write down what Wing has just said. Hey, can you repeat that, Wing?
Yeah, repeat.
I mean, if I summarize it, right, if you're in the secondary market, right, you just got to consistently show up to 400 owners that they stick with you. You will be able to achieve your 12th transaction in a year based on these numbers.
Say the numbers calculation again. How do you get the number calculation based on that?
Because total there is a 6.1 million residential units. In whole Malaysia, there is 6.1 million residential units, right? And if you look at this, the first half of 2023, there's 114,000 transactions. So if you multiply by 2, it's about 228,000. So you take 228, you divide by 6.1 million, is about 3.7%, which means that on a year, there will be 3.7% residential units that will be transacted, right? So if you think of it, 100 units, 100 owner, 3 to 4 will sell in a year, all right? Because you need 12 transactions, so you just need to service 400, let's say 400 owners. You should be able
400 owners.
Right,
yes, then you have a chance to. That's very cool. So if you follow up with them regularly, you show you're up and you give value, and they like you, know you, like you, trust you, and all that, you have a good chance, lah.
Right.
Well, that's very interesting. Okay, I like that way of calculation. Very, very good, very good. I hope you guys got it. I think the agents on the call and that y'all got it. Yeah, because I wrote it down.
Because a lot of times, agents think that they need to do a lot of things. They need to follow up with a lot of clients, right? But data just shows that, if you can hold 400 owners that stick with you, right, you just need to follow up with them 400. So if you do the math, 30 days a month, you take 400, you divide by 30, right? It's just 10. Every day you speak to 10 owners, that's what you need to do.
You're speaking ignite language. 10 conversations every day, guys. Let's go. 10 conversations every day. This is your goal. So good.
Actually, everything matches on. There's something always people say, the magic figure. Sometimes it's just it. we don't need to question the logic of it sometimes. Sometimes when we try to make things too logical or so difficult, that the magic number, like you mentioned about 10, right? Ignite was always talking about 10. And Wing just calculated and it's also about 10. So is that the magic figure? I just use it as a figure. How,
That's
whether
amazing.
how you derive that doesn't matter. Just do it. And maybe the results, I think the results will follow. Yeah, okay, very good. Okay, thanks, Wing. I
Love it.
think very interesting way of looking at that, that overall data. Yeah, very good. Okay, is there any questions? If not, we move to the next segment.
There is a question. Okay, we will still keep the other one for later, but Malay Reserve, can it sell? How's Malay Reserve land or properties doing?
I think this when you talk about property transaction, right, they did not specify like, oh, how many of that in which category. I think they probably have those data, but when they released the overall data, I did not go and analyze those data lah. But definitely Malay Reserve properties are being transacted, and it's also part of this figures lah. How much of it contributes to that? I did not go into that detail lah.
Okay.
But the details released by NAPIC, they are all macro. I mean, they are all at Malaysia level or at a state level, right? So if you want it to be at a micro level, then you need to utilize the KW data labs. Right? That is
okay.
From there. Then if you want to go deeper into it, then you need to use data labs.
Right.
There's a lot. If you really want to analyze data, there's so many aspects to analyze. But I think maybe sufficient is that the generic figure just to help you. And then when you are in your particular segment of the market, whether it's a specific location or specific type of property and all that, then you can get specific with those numbers. Yeah. So if you are only doing Malay Reserve properties, then good to get specific with that also. There will be data, but it's just that I did not analyze those data. Yeah, there's so much of data to analyze that I only picked and choose which I thought was interesting to share today.
Exactly. I think what Cheng mentioned, there's so much data to analyze. So what I want to highlight here is that don't over-analyze, right? Just look at it as generally, right? You attend this session, you get some pointers how to answer your real estate clients, and then you know where your business are. This is good enough, right? Don't go too deep into those numbers, because it will not bring too much of a benefit to your business. This is just my take.
Yeah, that's what they say. Too much analysis leads to paralysis.
Yeah.
That means you're paralyzed when you saw the data, you don't know what to do. Yeah. So I think that's good advice, Wing. Okay, so then if there's no other question, then I'll just move on a few more slides, then we stop again. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to share that some people were saying that, prices have fallen in, over time, the property value has dropped, or we are in some, I don't know what they want to say lah. But if you look at the trend of the Malaysian house price index over time, that means you look from the year 2018, right, in this data. Yeah, 2018, this data analyzed every quarterly until Q2 of 2023, projected only. But if you look at it across time, right, if you drew one line, you just drew one line to show the trend, you can see that over time, the house price index increases. So it only means to say that over the years, right, property price seems to be moving in one direction.
I see like the general trend. Yeah.
But
not looking at each quarter can go a bit up and down.
Each quarter, there's a little bit of movement. That's why I always tell buyers and sellers, property is a medium to long-term investment. It's not something that you buy today and then tomorrow you want to flip and sell and all that, and then try to make a lot of money. I don't think that is how the trend shows how it works. But over time, you hold that same property in Bandar Utama over 20 years. By now, I think it would have tripled the value. Yeah. Or for that matter, okay, just look at the average, right? Okay, 191 until 212, right? Yeah, I think if you take your house price at today's value and it goes up to this amount, I think that would be the average of the performance. Of course, some markets increase more than others. Some were more stagnant, some drop. Therefore, the result shows like that. Okay. Otherwise, if you only took terrace house segment, I think this figure would be very, very different. If you only took service apartment or condos, this chart would be very different again. So again, this is a collective of all this to derive the house price index. Yeah, but suffice to say that if your customer were saying that, oh, I don't think now is a good time to buy, then Mr. Buyer, I really don't know when is the right time to buy, because had you made that decision in 2018, today your property value would have gone up by 119 by 20% or 30% or whatever lah, the case may 100%, you know, over this time. So I think you can use data in that manner for people who are procrastinating. Oh, I'll wait for the market to come down a little bit more lah. Let the price drop some more, then then I enter into the market. I think those kind of thinking can work in the detriment of the buyer. He does not realize that if he doesn't get onto the bandwagon, right, the value of his money decreases over time because of inflation, and the property prices increase over time. So it's a double whammy for him. If he doesn't get into the property game, later he want to buy, it gets harder and harder because the prices seem to be going very steadily up. Yeah, so unless he wants to opt for auction deals, but most Malaysians like to buy new projects, then I think he may need to make a decision fairly quickly.
So this is a way you can answer those buyers that say they want to wait, right? They want to wait for the price to drop. You can answer them with this kind of like telling them, no, it's actually generally it's still going up. You're gonna wait. You're gonna regret waiting.
Let me say two things. If you have the need for it and you have the ability, why are you hesitating? And of course, you know what you want to buy. You've been researching, you've been thinking about it. You know the market movement is how. You better make that decision already. No day is ever right one. No situation, no perfect property, I always say. Is take position.
Nice.
Yep, I don't know whether Wing has something he wanted to add.
I think it's the same. I think if you ask me in few words, it's still uptrend, slower growth.
Yeah. Okay, then let me move. No questions, right? Then I'll move to the next slide. Okay, so we talked a little bit about commercial properties, right? Because we know that commercial suffered a lot in the last 2 years because of office space and work from home concept and things like that, right? But sufficient to say that there were still transactions, 17,000 transactions to be exact, and of 16.7 billion. So that's still quite a sizable portion going into commercial space. And good thing to note that it's been up. That means from 2022 compared to 2023, same period is up by 16%. That means there are more movements in the commercial property space, and the prices have also adjusted upwards. Yeah, that means there's a 20% value increase following the 16% increase in number of units. So I think quite good. And of course, it's no surprise that shop segment was the highest. They dominated the majority of the commercial transaction. So that means still shop office is in demand. 7,900, about 8,000 units of 6.78 billion. Yeah. So anyway, both even the shop segment also increased in the last compared 2022 and 2023 has also increased. So we just have a quick look at the data. So here it's from 15,000 to 17,000, half comparison. Yeah, increased by, was it 16? Let me see, 16%. And in terms of value, it increased by 19.5%. That means it was 14 billion, now it's 16.76 billion. No need to go into too much detail. All we know is that the trend for commercial has improved. Compared to 2020, the improvement is very, very steady. Yeah? Very, very nice. Wow, we love this kind of graph, man. So positive. Extremely positive trend. And you see, although we say that, the market is like this, like that, you just look 2019 compare 20 and look at 2012. Die, you want to be upset, upset for 2 years, then move on. Upset for 2 years and the trend has moved on. Okay, so let me just cover the last bit on industrial properties. Yeah. So I think there was a lot of hype about industrial properties, probably the most resilient sector compared residential, commercial, industrial over the COVID. But that doesn't mean it wasn't affected, but it's just that because this segment was, don't know, to me, it was is a more resilient compared to the other two. But having said that, so all the years it's been doing well, industrial segment, really, all the while. And this year, there was just a little bit of adjustment in it. That means we went a bit flattish. I mean, it cannot keep going up at that speed, right? So it's kind of flattish in the first half of 2023 compared to 2022 first half. There's a slight decrease in volume but slight decrease in volume, but a slight increase in value. But about I mean, it's about there. It's no, I wouldn't say this is anything very out of the ordinary. And of course, Terrace Factory formed 31.8% of the total transactions, followed by vacant plots. This is probably for all the bigger custom-built factories. Yeah. And then followed by semi-D factories, which are very, very popular as far as industrial players are concerned. Actually, they like it. The reason why Terrace Factory moved more is probably the pricing. A lot of people have gone into the industrial segment, given the recovery of the market, right? So a lot of people maybe went into small manufacturing, I think logistics, last mile logistics, and all that kind of thing. So maybe they have occupied some of these premises, but I think majority of it would have gone to the bigger industrial sites. But this one could be last mile. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing only. Right. Okay, and then here flattish, nothing much has changed. But having said that, I said there was also a dip in 2020 and 2021, just not very, maybe not as bad as commercial sector.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, I think that's my last slide. Yeah, that's the last slide.
Wing, what are your thoughts about commercial and industrial?
Okay, yeah, maybe go commercial. Yeah, all right. Okay, we'll look at the data.
Right. If you look at commercial, this round, commercial shows the most positive data, right? If you compare all the different segments, commercial perform the best. But that doesn't mean that I'm asking everybody to go and jump into commercial. You got to realize this is a lagging indicator, all right? So to me, everything is almost status quo. To me, for industrial sector, although it is flat, to me, residential industrial is flat. I look at it I look at it positively. Everything cannot just go up, all the way. So it takes some rest to prepare for the next hike. So I think it's okay. I mean, everything is status quo. Just continue to focus on what you are doing.
You know what? Everyone jumping to commercial, right? I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is just one indicator. It doesn't mean everything, right? There's a lot of other things to consider as well, right? So this is just to me a general knowledge on how to answer your client.
Yeah, because sometimes when the buyers and sellers, they ask you questions like, oh, the market is bad and all that, and then I sometimes ask them, I say, actually it's based on based on which data, Mr. Buyer. Is it a sentiment or is it based on actual data? Then if they say that, oh no it's just a feeling, so then we can answer feelings with facts yeah, we can overcome it. Yeah, because sometimes feelings is not something you can like, I feel that the market is bad. Based on what, Mr. Buyer? Because everyone I met, the market is actually pretty hot. Then you let them answer what they want to say. I'm surprised, Mr. Buyer, by the answer. So far, all the buyers have been meeting, all dying to buy, man. They say that if I don't buy now, next year, no chance. So if you start talking like that, the buyer also be startled and it's like, hey, you didn't see the report by NAPIC came out already last week. The analysts, the data, everything showing upward trend, man, Mr. Buyer. Then what are they going to say? I'm sorry, you're wrong, Mr. Agent. Your information is lagging. No. So sometimes we need to overcome some of this mental block that people have with facts and figures. So you use it how you want it. I always say that data can swing many ways. I can use the same data and talk to the seller to bring down his price. The same data I can talk to the buyer to increase his offer. It's how you want to angle it. Yeah. So data is just for you to use and it's just a tool. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's how you present it that matters.
Right. Yeah, good. So good. So yeah. So okay. I would love to get more questions in the chat if anybody has. I'm just sharing the file of the big report in the Zoom chat. So anyone who wants it can go download it. It's just
The
uploaded.
page report, yeah.
All
Okay.
right, there we go. It's there. Yeah. Okay, you mentioned about this question of like how to talk to your investors, how to talk to clients. Yeah. What like overall, yeah, what things do you think are relevant? Like would you show them any graphs? Would you show them what data would you share with potential buyers or sellers, investors, about this kind of data that you think is useful?
For buyers, I always show the house price index
Okay.
because the trend is showing upwards.
Right. That's what you mentioned earlier, right? You tell them like,
Yeah.
no, it's not going to go down, you should, and it's going to go up, and it's an
And I always
investment
like
for
to, yeah, correct. I always
medium-term,
like to
long-term.
scare people and
Scare people.
not make decision, because people make decision for two reasons here. Either because they are very motivated or they're scared. That means they're going to miss out. Scared to the fear of losing out. Wow.
Right.
Like you go and miss a good deal already. Wow, you missed out lah. That kind of buyers cannot resist making a decision because of that.
Right.
FOMO, fear of missing out. Yeah, it's a big fear. They all want to be part of it. Yeah.
So good. Yeah. So what opportunities do you see in the current market? And how can our agents take advantage of the market right now? Anything in particular that stands out to you? I mean, so far it seems like Wing saying everything is the same lah. You have to just focus and do your 400 owners and follow up with them. Yeah. Anything else though that they should consider?
If you look at the data, I mean, those who is performing well already, you continue to focus what you are doing, right? Whereas those who are still looking for ways, right? To me, all these external factors, they don't play a very big role in your business, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's still the fundamentals. You need to build up the skill and your knowledge, right? So attending the training, I think, is also important, right? Or even like, if you look at, there's another piece of data, that shows that the transaction based on the price range, right? So at all the price range, there's actually transaction, right? So
Yeah.
so monies are everywhere, right? It doesn't matter whether it's a 300 to 500 or 500 to 1 million or 1 million above, right? There are transactions. So to me, it all depends on your level, and which range that you better function at, right? To me, that can be considered as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So you're just seeing it as very positive that, look, guys, there's business happening out there. So come and take your part, take your share, your unfair share, right? How much you can take for yourself in your business. Appreciate that. Okay, there's a question here in the chat. How would you use this report to convince your seller it's a good time to sell their home, considering that they have been thinking about selling for a while and are waiting to sell at a better price? So quote unquote, like any data you could use to motivate them?
I think this one is more specific data. This one need to use like data labs and all that, because it would be more specific to the area or the type of property we're dealing with. That means if you can show him that the trend was on an upward trend, that means maybe 5 years ago asking prices were like this, then 2020 was what, 2021 was what, 2022, and then now is at what price. Then when he can see that his own personal trend and then matching with the market trend, then he can make a better decision. Because there's actually, if you really think about it, there's no perfect time to buy, there's no perfect time to sell one. It's all a compromise. Always the concept of buy low, sell high lah. All these is I think to me is a myth lah. How do you know when's the lowest point? And when do you know when's the highest point? You just have to determine that if that price is, you feel that is sufficient and you probably want to cash out of that asset to reinvest, then that would be the right move for you lah. I mean, for the seller. But you can show over time, the last 5 years, how the trend has been showing. And when things are moving, and then you can show the difference between that means, let's say from 2019 to 2020 dropped 10%, then 2020 to 2021, it went up 10, then went up 5, then went up 20. You can show that, I think it's peaking off. You can show from data that I think it cannot continue growing at this, like what Wing was saying, until how, so it has to come off to a flattish point. So only when you analyze the data like that individually for that particular type of property or area, then you can advise your seller how. Because data must be specific one when it comes to seller decision. The seller don't want to know overall, general, no, specific.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I think to me, a convincing seller, it's at the end, it still depends on what their priority is and why they're what is the main reason they want to sell. This report might not be too useful to convince the owner to sell based on this report. That is just my take.
Right. Just looking at the other questions on here.
Won't seller, I'm reading.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, maybe you can read it out.
Won't seller be saying, since price on the up, I'm not desperate, perhaps better wait. Yeah. So it's up to his timeline, because everybody has an investment horizon. Everybody has an investment goal with the properties that are purchased. So so it really depends. There'll be some people who say that I really don't need the money at all. I just want to keep it for my children 20 years later and sell it. So it really depends on their investment time horizon and their goals. It's very hard to convince somebody to sell today just because you felt that the price is at its peak. I don't think that is one. I don't think any investor go on that basis also. Property is not like stocks. Stock like today, want to buy, tomorrow you think like that, and then the decisions make very quickly. No, property doesn't move in that speed. Yeah, and it's very personal. And some people keep the property not because of the price on they keep it for sentimental value. They keep it for their children. They want to boast about it. A lot of things. So they will not even sell, even the price was at its highest. You can never convince him because he has a different objective in his mind. Not every owner can be convinced to sell. Yeah.
Right,
no matter, because price is not the only factor.
Nice. Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, now that I'm seeing like the whole big picture, right? What do you think is the main takeaway that you would want everyone on the call to take away from this report, and this information about for them to move forward in their business so that they can be confident and, be able to do well and be successful? Just love to hear what your thoughts are. What's the main takeaway from this?
So we ask Wing.
Yeah, okay, Wing, you can go first.
I think from this report, there is nothing drastic or major changes in the whole industry, right? So which is why to me it's still the same. There's nothing not good. So if you are doing well, continue with it, remain focused. Things will be better, because if you look at the volume and value, if you just remain performing, keeping the result the same, your commission will be higher because the value has gone up, right? So
Nice.
If you are doing good, just remain focused. You are on the right track.
Right. So what if you're not doing good?
If you're not doing good, then of course there are many. There are many factors, right? To me, it's always best to speak to a coach, because there are multiple angles to look at, right? This is just one angle, right? So best to consult a coach, and then the coach can look at it holistically and see where the issue is. But to me, at the end of the day, it still boils down to individuals focus on building up your skill and knowledge, because that is, to me, is still the most important factor.
Right. Okay. Cheng, you have anything to add on that?
About the about the data and the agent. Yeah, I always believe that data is there to support your business, so you use it the way that would work for you. Yeah, do it the best way, and data can help you overcome sentiment issues and so feeling issues when it comes to buyers and sellers in their decision-making process. And also, of course, number 3 is data helps you look smarter. So I think it is good that, as you go out there and you meet your buyers and sellers, don't be like those, have no knowledge, no education, or no sense of, the space that you're in. I mean, because we're all in a professional real estate segment. So we hold ourselves at that manner. So when we open our mouth and speak, the buyer and seller respects you as a real estate professional, a person who comes with value, you see, rather than, I don't know, oh, really? The report was released last week? Or, no, I have no idea how the market is doing. I feel it's okay. I feel the market is going up. All the feelings and all that. I think if we backed up our thoughts with facts and look smart, and professional, the value that we have to offer to our buyers and sellers, I think you will feel that the way you do business will do better. Then they will value your input. And when they value your input, then you can get them to list at the price that you want and sell at the price, or to increase the buyer's offer to match. Because sometimes when people don't respect you as a real estate agent who gives the right opinion of price and strategies or whatever, then they may not want to listen to any of your
what you have to say, right? They might not trust you as an expert, right? They would want to talk.
Because you don't know, actually. You're just pushing something, Yeah. You're just a messenger of sorts, that I think data helps us level up to a level where we are respected, being very part of the real estate transaction space.
Yeah, I know in Ignite, we talk about being a fiduciary where we can advise our clients, and educate them to be able to make good decisions for themselves, for their benefit. So this is an important piece, just to have that knowledge of what's going on and being able to speak to it, intelligently to some extent, right? You don't have to be you don't need to know, like Wing was saying, right? You don't need to know every little detail and super overanalyze, but just generally know the world is not falling down. It's not the end.
Thing that we need to know, like if the buyer were to ask you, what's the OPR now? If you say, I don't know, I think it went up this year, but I don't know. And then, you know what I mean? And then if they ask, hey, what about the stamp duty exemptions? Are you aware what is happening? I think there is some exemption for buyers. Then they ask you, is it applicable to the secondary market transactions for first-time home buyers? Then what is the RPGT now? What is the cost of there are certain things you just got to know at your fingertips. Please. There's just certain knowledge as a real estate person. You just got to know.
I love this. This is good. You're also using the fear to get the agents to go and learn. You better know these things, guys.
And then we like to read all kinds of gossip, right? On Facebook, this and that, or Instagram, whatever, TikTok. But when real estate news come into the market, how many of us actually read?
Right. This is your business, right? We better go and read lah. Okay.
Really good data recently released. Another really good data was Property Guru's report. I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. They released a report. I thought that was so good. That even talk about the rental market space, which JPPH don't capture. I mean, they released data on rentals yet in this manner, in this analyzed format. But Property Guru actually analyzed buyer and tenant behavior. Wow, I thought that report was very good as well. See, I don't know how many of y'all caught it.
Oh, okay. We have to take a look at that. Okay, we are gonna go right now. Thank you so much for your sharing. We're gonna go to announcements in a second. So everyone in the chat, if there's any little tidbit of something you received, maybe you could just write it in the chat so we can have a little compilation of smart things that you learned today. Okay, let's see all the smart things you all learned today. Something, even a one line, whatever tip you want to take home with you. Let's just share this in the chat to show appreciation to Cheng and Wing. In the meantime, let's go to our announcements for today. We have a lot of announcements. Okay, right. So we have Ignite going on now. You can sign up for this, and there should be something in the chat coming up in a minute. Okay, so let's go to the next slide just to show this Ignite course is 20 sessions. For those who have not seen it before, it's amazing, guys. It's the best. We have so much effort goes into this, so much good content, and all these different trainers that are at the top of their game are coming to share with you. So this coming week, show the next slide, is module 2 on lead generation. I want to invite you all who have not come. You better come for tomorrow's session. You know why? I'm the one training. Guys, come and see my session. It's a very good session. I'm not just saying it because it's me, but it's very good, seriously. Especially, it's also Jasmine is coming. Jasmine is fantastic. She shares a lot of very good stories. So please come. learn all about lead generation. You will definitely pick up something you've not heard before. If you've not been for the session, you will pick up something, I guarantee, that will help you to grow your business. So those are all the sessions. We also have open house, social media, and a database, all that. This is all happening at the KW Malaysia Training Center, live, in person, in Damansara Perdana. So please sign up for this if you have not been. Okay, next slide. Right, KW Malaysia Cares. So if you're a KW Malaysia agent and you're having any issues of illness or you're struggling financially some way, please, you can apply for some relief and we can see how we can assist you. This is something we have a benefit to you guys as KW Malaysia agents. All right, next. Right, client touch points. These are beautiful little posters that we've created for you. You can go and search them in Circle and add your own picture, your own words, and then send out to your database. Yeah, tell them about how great the market is doing. All right, guys. Next one. Right, so here we have Flagship Market Center. All right, this is what's happening this is for all Flagship Market Center agents. Please listen up. So today, of course, they're in Daman Mall for all those who are on that side of the country. And also this week, Tuesday, tomorrow, you can come for a session on KW Central. This is live, I think, right? Yeah, this is live in person in Flagship Market Center. Yeah, but Thursday, please take note, there is no power hour and no tech training on Thursday because it's a public holiday. So don't come lah, guys. Okay, next one. However, next week, there's two really awesome events happening. So this is exactly what we were just saying. You need to know all this kind of information, guys. So you need to come and find out more and learn more. Okay, there's a really special speaker, this guy, Stephen Tu, coming to talk about industrial properties. So if you're interested, I know a lot of people always ask me, I want to learn how do I market industrial properties. There's actually a training happening. So please, you can come and sign up on that little QR code over here. That's on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Apparently he has a great story. He was just a Ren like you, and he's gone very far. And so maybe you can come and pick his brains about how to also be like him lah and go very far. Okay. Also on Thursday, there's Legal Series is back, and learn about how to protect your commission with Mr. David Koh. So that sounds like a great session as well, 10:30 a.m. And most importantly, please mark your calendars. This is for October 18th, State of the Company event. I'm sure it's going to be an awesome event because Cheng is organizing it. So just mark your calendar, 18th of October, 9:30 to 12:30. If you're in Flagship, please just save the date first, and then all details will come later. All right, next slide. Okay, we have Reapfield Puchong. So this coming week, Wednesday, there is a session on deal closing, dominating the booking form. So this is once a month. They have a special session, different training topics. That's 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in Puchong. All right, next one. Next slide. Yeah, okay. Oh, all right. I think there was a few other, never mind. We have also our tech, that's right. So KW 360 scans, 68 ringgit. It's a great deal for KW Malaysia agents. So please sign up for that for all of your listings. Make them stand out. Next one, we have 49 ringgit a month for data labs. You heard today how important data labs is. This data is the most important, especially when you're working with owners, right? They want to know how much to sell their property for. You need this data. So please sign up for this and get the most recent data to be able to educate your sellers. All right, next one, 199 ringgit a month for our WhatsApp messaging tool. It's WhatsApp blasting, but it's so much more. There's a lot of value, a lot of things that are there for you. If you haven't tried, you get a 14-day free trial for a first-time user. Okay, great. That's all of our messages for today. Yeah, so we come back to you guys. Okay, any last words? We only have 1 minute left, guys. Okay, any last words from Wing that you want to just encourage everyone with?
I think to me, everything is good. Don't worry. Right? There's a quote that recently I came across, which it stick to my mind. That quote says, "You don't go to your dream, but you grow to your dream." So to me, it's still everything. It's still internal, which is more important.
You don't go to your dream, you grow to your dream. I like that. Thank you. Very cool. Okay, how about you, Cheng? What's your last words?
You should end with that. That is so good.
So good, right?
I have nothing to add.
Okay, let's go and let's grow, guys. This is a new week. Let's make a move and do our best this week. Find your 400 people and let's make our dreams come true. All right, thank you to everyone on Zoom. Thank you, Cheng. Thank you, Wing, so much for your time and your effort. We really appreciate it for making us all smarter. All right. Thank you all for coming on the show, and we will see you next week on Winning Mondays. Okay, bye.